Greetings shippers and welcome back. Today we're going to be diving into the realm of Voltron yet again. It's going to be a bit different today because, well, this is a bit of a different pairing, at the time of this recording at least. We're going to be taking another look at Shadam, or as some are still pushing for it to be called, Adachi. We'll see. It looks like Shadam is winning though. Now, as we've discussed in the past, Voltron can be a bit fraught to talk about, so if you're looking for a safe, fun space to do just that, well, I think it's time to check out Amino. I am thrilled to once more be partnering with Amino apps. Not only are they an amazing app in general, but when it comes to Voltron, well, that's extra special. The Voltron community there, it's a really fun place. Trust me, I know, I'm on it. Lurker Queen Extraordinaire, Shipper's Guide to the Galaxy. For those of you who aren't on Amino, well, it's a wonderful community where you can participate in any kind of fandom you can think of. There are so many fun, vibrant communities, and Voltron definitely stands out. It is definitely one of the most fun, active Aminos to date. There are so many options for how you can use your Amino and how you can interact. As a Lurker Extraordinaire, some of my favorite things to do are to go and look at the wonderful fan art. There is such a variety and you will find everything. Different pairings, different characters, AUs, and then of course you can interact, comment, like, all of that good stuff. If you grew up in the burgeoning era of the internet like me, then you may also enjoy some of the polls and quizzes. I love a good quiz. There are so many quizzes and they range from easy to difficult. And when they say difficult or impossible, they mean difficult or impossible. Also, the polls are a lot of fun because it's very much people performing and engaging in their fandom right now. As mentioned, I am indeed on the Amino, Shipper's Guide to the Galaxy, and I want to interact with you. Once this video is posted, I will have a community post live for your Shadam fan art. So it can be utilized in the next video post season 7, where we're going to have a Shadam update. So please, if you're interested, head on over to the Amino. The link will be down below. There's going to be a community post. It's going to be in the description. It is going to be everywhere. Head on over there and submit your art. Please also submit some kind of step-by-step process so that I can verify that it is indeed you. You're going to have between now and this video was posted to the 11th to get me your finest art. I'm looking forward to seeing it all. And don't worry, it gets even more exciting. This is free and you can download it to your phone, iOS or Android. Once you've got the Amino, just search Voltron and join. So now, let's talk about Shadam. What makes this pairing so unique? Well, for one thing, at the time of this recording, it has yet to appear on screen. Instead, only people who saw the first episode at Comic-Con or the trailer where it hints at this moment know that these two were past boyfriends. In fact, according to certain staff, they were affianced. And because of that, there have been a lot of feelings that have surfaced surrounding this pairing in particular. The announcement was also coupled with the reveal of LGBT Shiro. While some say that this announcement reveals that he was gay, Lauren Montgomery and Joaquim dos Santos later clarified that it was more of an open representation.
We know people are going to be upset because they haven't seen it yet, but we just hope that on the back end they'll forgive us.
Yeah, and they're along for the ride, regardless of like where anybody stands. Just enjoy the ride.
And then, if you guys know, how do Shiro and Adam identify in their sexuality, like gay, bisexual, anything like that?
I think we just kind of consider
They're in a relationship. Yeah. I think that's what.
Yeah, I think the important thing is maybe allow the fans to see what they want to see. We don't want to put anyone in the corner where it's like so other people feel like they are not there.
Just so you know, like us confirming or not confirming one or the other either leads to like our Twitter being destroyed or not. And we realize that that's just passion for the show, for the characters, and we appreciate it. We just don't want anybody to feel like they're not being
Sure.
While some feel that this was simply them pandering or covering all of their avenues to try and avoid fandom backlash, this opinion having arisen as in certain other interviews Shiro is referred to as a gay man. However, others argue that some still utilize the terms gay and LGBT interchangeably, especially if they are of an older generation. For when these terms were coming into prominence, gay used to be used as a blanket terminology for all sexualities. However, one's mileage may vary as to whether they find this pandering or not, and that has caused some problems within the shipping fandom. However, that really doesn't pertain to Shadam, except in the sense that some feel it gives this pairing extra credence over some of the other fandom pairings such as Shillura, as there are some who are very dismissive of the idea of bi Shiro. Now, Shadam has managed to surge up the popularity charts, especially on Tumblr, which is one of the main Voltron hubs. However, Voltron is very popular and hence its fandom is performed across a variety of platforms. Now, when it comes to ships, Shadam has definitely made an impact. It has quickly risen up to be topically one of the more popular pairings in the fandom, and people are already producing works. So what that means is that there is already a large fan-in landscape emerging around these two before anything has actually been put on screen. And while this excites some, for others is a bit more of a concern. They fear that perhaps a lot of expectations are being placed upon Adam and this relationship that have more to do with the fandom's feelings and desires than with what the show actually wants to portray. And some fear that depending on how it goes, people will be unhappy. Now, of course, one can argue that that is the case no matter what is to be portrayed. However, with Voltron, that comes with a bit more of a special fear, because as mentioned, the Voltron landscape is a lot more volatile, and as we've mentioned in past videos, people have a lot more invested than simply which ship is their favorite. So how exactly do people feel about Shadam? Well, there are a variety of readings. There are people who have embraced Shadam wholeheartedly to the point where there seems to be a kind of willful ignorance of the fact that they have broken up. Indeed, the fact that their relationship ended and how it ended has been made quite clear. However, in the fandom, that fact tends to be glossed over, which given the circumstances is not that surprising, and ultimately the pairing is being treated very much like any other non-canon ship. And for some, this is the first Shiro pairing they felt comfortable shipping, given the discourse around Shiro ships in this fandom. And a lot of the focus is on reconciliation and reconnecting, both in fan art and fics. And many people want this reconnection to be positive. Indeed, there is a push from many to have this couple reunite. This comes from a variety of avenues. There are some who simply feel that they are a cute couple and are willing to support them, especially because they're an LGBT couple, and that is very rare in Western animation at the time of this recording. So there are some who have a vested interest in seeing this relationship work, indeed feeling that it has to work, so that people can see a positive representation of a couple on screen. Others simply feel that they are cute, and they love the concept and the idea and the backstory, and they hope that they can see these two get together and have a happy ending, especially for Shiro, as people feel that he has suffered enough at this point. However, there are others who do not have as positive a read on this relationship. Now, there are some who are going very far, be they antis or perhaps some who simply have very strong feelings about how the end of this relationship occurred. On the very far side of people who do not appreciate this ship, we have those who feel that it is abusive, that the way that Adam ended it was with an ultimatum, and that for them it reveals something that wasn't actually all that healthy, or at least had some problematic undertones. While others would not go that far, but do feel that the relationship clearly ended, and that the reasons for it and how it ended do not really facilitate a coming back together of two people, and that this could be a chance to show a very mature fact of relationships, that not all of them are meant to work out, and that people can love each other, care about each other, and not be meant to be together, or be able to work together in that way. This also in light of Shiro's illness, some feel that Adam demonstrated that he would not be able to handle it, and so it is best that he stepped aside, for both of them. Well, of course, the flip side is some feel that he simply didn't know how to react to all this information, and that everybody is free to make a mistake, and that there is still hope for these two. However, some feel that this could be a stepping stone to other pairings. Now, we have briefly touched on the feelings the fandom has towards this in the Shiro video that we did, so please check that out. Of course, card over there, link down below. But suffice it to say that there are some who are very annoyed by this sentiment, feeling that it glosses over what is currently happening with Shiro, and that it showcases who truly cares about shipping versus representation. Though there are some who push back against this read, feeling that one can appreciate what has been given, but also still hope for what they desire. And that perhaps, since there are still 2 seasons left at the time of this recording, that there are breadcrumbs being laid for other pairings. Of course, for many, this again comes down to the 2 fandom juggernauts, Glance and Sheaf. There are some who are interested in seeing this relationship be the groundwork for another, be they either of those 2. And all of this is playing out in the fandom. So there are already a variety of fics projecting what should happen with Shadam, how their first meeting should go, and how they could potentially either ease into another couple or help another couple come together. This, of course, demonstrates the power of shipping. We have often discussed on this channel how one can really ship anything, and the limits are one's imagination, and this really provides more groundwork than a lot of ships out there in fandom. They've already met, it has been established, and there is talk that they will meet again. That is more fodder than a lot of pairings will ever see. Still, with all that being said, the way that this pairing has been embraced by the fandom has been fascinating to witness. And for most, it has been a very positive experience with beautiful fics and beautiful art. And there are some that feel that this is the ship that everybody ships. No matter what their other ship affiliations, this is the one ship they can all come together and agree with. Although, for some, they feel there is the underlying current because it is canon, as the Voltron fandom does have a propensity for carrying over much in some people's opinion what becomes canon and what doesn't, as some view their shipping as a form of fandom activism and feel that the ship must become canon, or what is the point. This of course conflicts with shippers who feel that shipping is more of a fandom related pastime, and if it comes to pass, fantastic, and if not, there is always the fandom. And this has caused some fans to feel they cannot exactly express their true feelings about Shadam, for not everybody loves this pairing. And that has been difficult for those who do not, because some feel that there is pressure to have to like this pairing, as indicated by previous statements that this is supposed to be the one ship that everybody can agree on. There are some who are simply not drawn to it as of yet, feeling that they want to see how it plays out on screen and what is given to them before they jump to fanon-based conclusions. And others, based on the dynamics already presented, simply aren't gravitating towards it, at least not yet. And there are of course others who still prefer their pairings and are not interested in taking more on. And alas, sadly, depending upon where one is when one voices this sentiment, it is not always the best reception. There have been accusations, of course, of homophobia, feeling that those who do not ship this pairing have some kind of innate sense of homophobia within them, this being even if they do ship other LGBT+ pairings. Others feel that the people are character bashers or character haters, as there have already been groups set up to protect Adam, as there is concern over how much is being projected to and onto his character before he has even properly appeared. This, as always, has caused a disconnect for some within the Voltron fandom, as they feel that they cannot fully partake in the celebrations therein because they are not fully aligned with the viewpoint. However, this, alas, is not a new thing for the Voltron fandom. Now, it must as always be stressed, there are wonderful Voltron fans creating beautiful works, and there are some very fun spaces, case in point Amino. However, as always, there are also bad spaces, and even in the best spaces, sometimes one can alas have a bad experience. I'm saying alas a lot in this video. Alas, it's a good word. So as always, ship and let's ship. There are a variety of reasons why someone may like a ship or dislike it, and they are not all rooted in internalized bias or hatred. In fact, some of the rationale can be quite plausible. Indeed, some simply feel that perhaps Shiro doesn't require a relationship at all, and that the representation can occur and be complete with a single Shiro, and that perhaps certain portions of the fandom place an overemphasis on relationships. It is important to always remember that while a ship may be important to you and represent a lot, it is best not to get too defensive, because other people can feel just as strongly and passionately about their ships. So with all of that being said, I must ask, what are your hopes for Shadam, and what are your true feelings on this pairing? Have you formed any as of yet, or are you waiting to see what happens in the next season? Do you think that all of the fan and expectations that have already been projected upon this meeting will affect how it is received? In short, is it possible for there to be a satisfactory portrayal on screen for all people at this point? Or is there too much pressure and expectation upon it? Of course, we'll have to wait and see, but what do you think? And if you're watching this post that moment, has the reaction been what you anticipated? As mentioned, we will come back and take a look at Shadam and how the fandom is changing and what they are doing with the newfound meeting of these two on screen post season 7. It's gonna be fascinating, for it's rare for a ship that has been promised to appear canonically to have such a strong following before that happens. It's much more usual to have the will they won't they build up that then becomes a couple than to have a promise yet people already formulating all kinds of theories and headcanons about what exactly should happen. Or if it does happen, it is at least rare for people to be so invested in it, for there is a lot of investment in this for a variety of reasons. For some it's for what it represents, for others what it means, and for others because of all of the history, backstory, and baggage that they have within the Voltron fandom. If you are participating or viewing this phenomenon in the fandom at the time of this recording, how are you enjoying it and what do you think of it? Is it unique or have you seen it all before? Voltron is, as always, a wild ride, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. If you haven't already, please do follow on social media so you can keep up with what we're doing next, as well as when we're streaming and just general fandom chit chat. It's a good time, I swear. Also, I don't know how this happened. I was intending to have a completely neutral normal makeup look, and then it was, why not be Wednesday Addams? So we'll be back in a few days post Series 7 to talk once more about Shadam, what happened and how people like it. And of course, we'll be looking at some of your fabulous art. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Until next time, let's get to the outro. Bye-bye. This has been Shipper's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Special thanks to all of my patrons' names on the side. There are, as always, new videos coming soon, so stay tuned, for there are as many ships out there as there are stars in the sky.